Hey Maverick,
Going well.
are you having a sleep up there?
I just waiting for time to go past.
Has Woody managed to actually shoot anything, or has he got the RSPCA cartridges in again? I think everybody will want to know is what have you put in your hair? Because I'm sure there's some dye gone in it. Because that's suddenly changed colour. Because that looks a bit like you're not using what Grandma's.
No, I'm not using anything.
That's not Grandma's.
Perhaps I haven't washed it.
You sure? Because Grandma's colour went a bit that tinted.
What are you putting in yours?
Well, I need more hair. That's all I need. It's 20th of August. Paul's just tucked his shirt in to look a bit smarter, but that's pleasure. Mustard behind us. We just finished the mustard, so the guys are now going to take the underneath of the combines out, so they can put the vents back on to go back onto the peas. 2 combines are going to be left on peas. We think we're going to hopefully get into the peas later today, and we'll perhaps have about 2 days left on peas. That's our estimate, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Depending on how they go, they're not too laid. Campbell Grain have come to the rescue. They've got some space, so that's great. Thank you to them for helping us out. So we've found somewhere for the peas. The last couple of loads of oats are currently got to get dried, haven't they? Then they're going to be delivered. We've got some malting barley, which is now not going to Kingsley, it's going somewhere else. But this is the mustard complete. We've now got to we've got it in out of the dry, and we'll then get this in the cleaner to go through the grain hospital, start processing this, getting all the chaff and everything out. You can smell its fresh harvest, can't you? It's got that sort of nose about
definitely.
it. Yeah. But that won't want to stay long like that, because that will spoil. So the other guys in Lincolnshire, Bedford, sorry, they've got rained off today, and they got started again. They got rained off last night. Yeah. So they went for a fish and chip supper, I think, didn't they, for lunch?
Oh, I didn't hear
that. Oh, didn't they tell you that part?
No,
oh, right, okay, yeah. Oh, did they? Yeah. So they've now got going again. So I think if we're lucky, we'll finish wheat tomorrow, and then they've got on to beans, quite a bit of beans. We've got to try and see if there's a neighbour about who wants a bit of a hand to do some wheat, so we can clean the combines up after doing the peas and the beans. So look, any neighbours in the area want a bit of free combining, there you go. We'll come and give you a hand just to clean the combines up. But otherwise, if anybody wants any combining doing, we're in the market to help. But yeah, we've had a busy few days so far. So the problem we've got is one of the chaser bins, the UJ joint has failed. I had ordered a spare. I always like to carry a spare PDO shaft just in case. We'd actually used half of it, so we ordered another one. It's in stock, it hasn't gotten it to us, so I've now got to go and fetch it. It'd be much easier if we could have a system a bit like Amazon, where we can order something and it comes to our door, rather than us having to always drive to the dealers to get something. Slightly infuriating, that. It's just wasted mileage. So we're going to pick up the part, hopefully meet a lorry en route, take it down to the bin to get the chaser bin running again. There's another chaser bin there. At worst, I could dispatch one of the chaser bins to go over there, which I think I'm going to have to do, because this might be down for a few hours. So the Challenger Fendt crawler is still down. Still no update on parts. That's still marooned in the field because it won't turn to even get it away, which is a problem. So Fred and Raymond have come up with an idea where basically Raymond's going to have to sit at home because there's nothing for him to do. So they're going to go 24 hours on Freddie's Challenger on the Toronto and keep going with that. And then we'll have to just park the Joker up at the moment until we've got an update on what's happening. But cool, I am concerned about the fact that there are no parts available in the world. This is my frustrated face. Dear oh dear. So this is Scott. He looks after all the horse machinery. He's moved from the class combines onto the horse stuff. So he looks after it. He's just come to frighten me, but there's a big list of things that we need to do to the horse sprayer. Have you fixed the one in Bedford?
Yes.
What was it?
Pin had come out the back of a plug.
No. And that's why the handbrake applied itself and wouldn't go anywhere?
Yep.
Oh, I can't believe it.
No, yeah, I spent about an hour looking through the looms.
Oh, you did well.
I was like, we've seen it before on that machine.
Really?
When it was down Cambridge way.
It frightened him.
Yeah.
He said he didn't want to come down the road in case he got thrown out the cab.
Yeah. It could have been a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
But no, we sorted that.
All right, thank you. And the other one's in link, so just, you know, if you want to work on it, now's the time.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be flat out busy, not this week, next week.
Yeah, well, I spoke to Kieran a couple of weeks ago about getting the bits and pieces done.
Yeah.
We've got to speak to David about
You can have it here, but you've got to go and fetch it.
I don't mind that. We can get it done, that's not an issue.
See you later. Come all the way up here, and my neighbour is here. He could have got the part for me. And he's got a nice brochure, so he's on the spend. And the salesman's looking excited.
Well, yeah, maybe.
So this is the direct driller of Cambridgeshire. And he's got a cultivate. Oh, there you go, X. He's got a cultivate, but you're going to get your £70 a hectare premium if you direct drill.
It's not worth it.
I know, that's the problem. It's not worth it.
No, I'm not going to say too much.
No, probably best not. See you later. Take care. Good to see you. Has Woody managed to actually shoot anything, or has he got the RSPCA cartridges in again?
Honestly, I feel like that bloke, you need to tell him, he needs to ask for a refund at Spectator, because every single time I see him shoot that bloody gun, I think, oh look, the rabbit's still running.
I think he's bought cheap cartridges and got nothing in them but a bang.
I know, but I think he's doing it for the effect, I think.
So,
I think he's doing it, maybe seeing a photo of defenders ladies to say that he's a hunting man. On his Tinder profile.
right, well, you seem to be doing a good job.
Yeah,
Bit slower though, is it?
Yeah, it's a bit slow. We had to slow it down and keep it in the combines. Richard and I have been on the phone quite a bit today, but no, we're getting on fine.
And is it just these two fields you've done?
Yeah, just these two.
Okay. Well, it's a nice little block though, isn't it? I mean, it looks tidy. The edges are tidy. The tram lines don't look awful. What was it like?
No, this is not a bad block. This was kept. There's not any huge ruts over here, but then this was drilled in the spring, wasn't it? And Graham and I it was a sort of quick rush drill, so there wasn't, people plodding through it all winter.
Yeah.
And it's fairly, because did this get ended in front? It did, didn't it? Or did
Yes,
it not?
yes. And also
Yeah.
we were these are the ones we were digging the ditches out on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Graham and I were here digging the ditches. Yeah, that is very true.
Now then, Maverick,
Going well.
are you having a sleep up there?
Oh, just waiting for time to go past.
I've eaten lunch today. Have you had it?
Yeah, I've had it. Yeah, nice. That was good.
I'm a bit concerned because I'm supposed to be losing weight, and I don't think it's the belt. I think they've shrunk my trousers a bit. I have to see what cousin Michael has to say when he's coming tomorrow.
Well, that's what you hope, that the trousers shrunk.
Yeah. Well, I'm relying on him to look even bigger, so he'll make me feel smaller. The problem is though, Tom keeps doing this side shot of me, and then when I watch it, I realise I've got a bit of a double chin.
Just face it front on, just so that you can't see.
Yeah, do I look like that? Yeah. Always look better in the mirror front on.
That's right. That's the main thing. As long as you look good in the mirror.
So I'm hoping this isn't going to rain. This looks threatening, doesn't it?
Well, it's been sort of looking threatening all afternoon a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we had a big sort of black cloud that went around us, which was good. It didn't come through us, but hopefully, we'll just keep going for a little bit longer.
And you had a late one last night.
Yeah, we got back to the yard just before 2, so about, yeah.
Now, were you with Sandy when you moved from doing the peas?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to go and put all those guards and that back on in the dark. That was a little bit...
If it doesn't rain, there's every chance we could finish by Thursday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you look excited.
Yeah,
Oh, you think you're going on the beers, do you? To celebrate.
Yeah, we've been talking about it, and yeah, we said like if we get this paddock done tonight, and maybe just get started on the next one, like we should easily finish the mustard tomorrow by mid-afternoon, and then on to peas again.
You know those peas are 23% moisture.
So what does that mean?
That's a problem. You want to pray for sun.
Yeah.
That is a problem. I'm amazed that they're so wet.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, that'll be the third time we've had to go back to them to do patches.
Well, that's so.
And it was all because they didn't get drilled at the same time because it was too wet for us to drill.
Yeah, it's just
So you get the knock-on effect. So that's the issue, isn't it? You don't get it right then, and you go later. You set the clock later.
It is. Yeah. It's just that it always stems from a fire.
I've got this thing about. I set this challenge that we had to finish for the bank holiday weekend.
Yeah.
For the
what?
oh, it's called a bank holiday.
Oh.
Yeah, the banks, you know, that they work so hard, they need extra time off.
Yes.
Yeah. Counting all that money. So it's a bank holiday weekend, which is a Monday. So that's coming up this weekend. And I set myself a challenge. We needed to be finished by then. And yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah. So it's a long weekend this weekend coming, is it?
No, you're not having it off. So don't you worry. Don't you worry about that. Cousin Michael's graced us with his presence. Couple of things before we get stuck into agronomy, Michael. One is people want to know how the diet's going.
Oh, marvellous.
I could just say that we've just been to the garage, got an ice cream. I didn't have my ice cream, so you're a good soldier and had mine as well as yours, didn't you? So you've actually had two, yeah. So 2 magnums. I actually know that they're 300 calories each.
Don't tell Sam.
And I doubt you walk 300 calories worth of energy a day currently.
Agronomy.
But the second thing that I think everybody will want to know is what have you put in your hair? Because I'm sure there's some dye gone in it. Because that's suddenly changed colour. Because that looks a bit like you're not using what grandma's.
No, I'm not using anything.
That's not grandma's.
Perhaps I haven't washed it.
You sure? Because grandma's colour went a bit that tinted.
What are you putting in yours?
Well, I need more hair. That's all I need. Anyway, mustard. So yielding currently 1.2 to about 1.6. Yield monitor saying 2.2. This is probably some of the best mustard we've grown uniformly across all of the fields we grow, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's good.
We're pleased with it. Black grass control. Actually, this is one of the poorer fields, isn't it? This has got a bit of black grass in it.
It has. We're a little bit limited with black grass control in mustard. We can't use Centurion Max basically because of the harvest interval. Actually, we have not had any herbicide on here because the post stem didn't go on either. Yeah. Because the post stem has a very small window and it has to be on before the flower buds are there, and we couldn't get it on before the flower buds appeared. So
the crop's actually done really well.
It's done amazingly well, and thank God it was thick because we've had very little herbicide at all.
Yeah. So, agronomy wise, Michael, looking at next year, what I feel that this feels like the first time we've got uniformly right with growing the mustard crop.
Yeah.
And I think replicating what we've done.
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing here was the weather. I mean, the weather has been absolutely perfect for spring crops.
Yeah.
Once we got drilled, we were late for most spring crops drilling, but actually mustard we wouldn't have drilled till later anyway.
No.
But we just had the rain perfectly afterwards, and that's the key. It's just getting it out
once
the ground.
it's drilled,
yeah.
if you get that rain, then it's out the ground. It's done.
Absolutely. You've got to conserve moisture as much as you possibly can. Once you've got the stuff out of the ground, then it'll cope with most things. But it's actually getting it chitted first.
Have you seen the extraordinariness of the cracks in the ground?
Yeah. Yeah. It's dried out a lot,
hasn't it just? I mean, cultivation wise, we're down to just the Toronto at the moment because it's too hard for the Joker.
Right. What, even on the Toronto?
Yeah.
Right.
It just needs the moisture to. So Sandy's coming around this headland, and we're really concerned about these pylons. So coming off, this is got 3 wires here, going from this pole, coming round to here, and we think that is dangerously low. So Sandy's going to, when he gets to this pole, he's going to put his lids down, and we're going to go on because we're very nervous. We don't think that this is safe, and UK Power Networks should be doing something about this. Have contacted them about poles before, about the heights. Don't feel that they take it very seriously. I think we're going to have to start looking into putting systems in the machinery like the combines, which are working under them, to see if they are right, to let the driver know.
Yeah.
But actually, and there are systems available. You know, I know Spalding sell one, for example, and I think we'll look at trialing that and putting them under, say, even lorries, putting the straw bales on. But these pylons, I think, you know, with machinery, needs to get addressed. They need to be put in the ground. It's just not safe.
Well, really, it's quite lucky that Sandy had the forethought to notice, because when you're trying to crack on, you know, it'd be very easy to drive under there and not notice that.
Well, if you look now, he's got his lids up still. He's coming up to the poles. And those poles, these wires, by the time they get to where we're stood, these look like those lids would catch them. I got some stickers came through the post this morning from the NFU.
Right.
I asked them for the so I could put them in each vehicle about electricity.
Yeah.
And what number to call, because instead of the 800 number now, they've gone to a 3-digit number. So I was going to put them in each vehicle, and it basically says what not to do about jumping out, etc. You know, staying in there, ringing in emergency services. Windy today. It's definitely not a spraying day, but little bit of heat, little bit of sun. We're on. Sandy and Richard are now on the peas. They finished the mustard yesterday. So they're cracking on with these. They're putting these new headers into flex and making a difference. They're picking everything up. It's not all 100% fit. There's a bit of downy mildew still in this, but it's about 18-19% moisture. We're going to put them through the dryer. We've got heavy rains coming potentially on Friday in 2 days' time. I don't want to be in a position of trying to scrape these off the floor. I'd rather put them through the dryer and do that. And we want to keep the colour. So when we finish this one field we're in now, this is the last field of peas. Then we've got some wheat to finish in Bedford, which hopefully will be finished today. And then we've got some beans. So we might just leave one field of wheat if these guys get on okay, so that we can finish the beans and then have one field of wheat just to polish up all the combines. Because it's such sappy stuff that we don't really want to leave it in the combines over the winter. That's what we're thinking. We don't want that all stuck in there. So if we put a bit of wheat through it, it cleans it out. Nice dusty wheat, blows it out the end, and it's easy to clean down and blow down, ready for the winter storage and the servicing. So if we're lucky, we'll finish tomorrow before the rain. If we can get all 4 combines on the beans and the last field of wheat. If they get this finishing down the road to Bedford tonight, they've got a field of beans they can pick up en route and then turn round and onto the second block of beans, and then there's a third block. So get all 4 combines on them. We've dominated the haulage side of the business at the moment. We've got all the lorries. We've got 11 on the farm, and one's currently taking some deliveries of our wheat up to Ranked Hovis, doing about 3 loads a day. So of last year's wheat, trying to get that out the door. And yeah, I think everybody's sort of itching to get to the last field. There's a sort of like a running race. You can just sort of feel it. And we've all got our fingers crossed and our toes crossed that we're not going to get a rain. There's a real momentum. There's some enthusiasm in the air. Getting to the end of harvest is as exciting as the beginning. Like everything in farming, you get very excited about the beginning of harvest, and then halfway through you get very excited about the end of harvest. So not the best yields across the board, probably one of my worst years, I would think. So we'll have a bit of a sit down and go through those numbers and see where we truly are. My gut tells me between 20 to 30% down on overall yield, which will be 20 to 30% profit at least, because the market's been going south on us as well. in terms of wheat prices, and then of course everything generally on the back of that. So all the peas and the beans, etc., they will all fall down, apart from these peas are on contract. Very grateful to Ben Banks as well, who I rang this morning. They're over there baling at the moment. He very kindly let us come down his track to access this field. We tried to get in the other night into the other pea field, but we got in, but with the trailer on the back, it was a bit tight. We got in by 2 millimeters, so he kindly let us come in that way, and we'll have to make that gateway a bit bigger. But it's always great when a neighbour helps you out in the thick of harvest. So talking yesterday when I was with cousin Michael, we were looking at the pylons and concerned about the height of them, etc. I've already been on the telephone to an agent to help me with this issue with the height, because I think it's a bigger problem than just one pylon, and it's in different counties. But Spaldings has sent me over this electrical detector, so I've just temporarily just rigged it to the car. Now, the car, as it turns out, is all aluminium. There's no metal on it, so the magnetic thing won't sit on it, so it will sit on the roof just as it is at the moment. I've stuck this on the window, and I'm working on the assumption that when I drive ahead, if you look ahead, you can see that there's a pylon there wires going across that entranceway. But this alarm should go off to warn me. I don't know what distance, but we'll have a look to see what comes of it. Oh, it's starting to build up. Look, it's getting closer. Okay. So the pylons are not quite above us. That's the pylon there. So what we'll do is we'll do it at speed. We'll perhaps pick, I don't know, let's pick 10 mile an hour, for example. Might be a speed you'd expect to do in the field. So let's see what happens when we do 10 mile an hour. Right, there we go, 10 mile an hour. You wouldn't stop in time for 10 mile an hour, but if you were working on a forklift or you were tipping a lorry body and you got near it to tip the lorry up from stationary, then at least it would be telling you that there's a problem. See how far it goes the other side. Oh no, all the way through. So it's basically telling us there's a danger zone there. Getting tangled up in my cables. So if you're working on a forklift or you're about to unfold a sprayer, for example, you know how you lift the booms up, they then go up in the air, they unfold, that's the point when you could catch a wire. Or if you're putting a boom up on a forklift to create straw bales, or you've got to actually, yeah, helpful. So that these are getting on towards £500 each, but who's going to pay for them all? Because if I've got 48 machines, that means I've got to be looking for £25,000 worth of money to fit them to everything. And they're not built in currently, so you can buy these kits as we demonstrated. If you're doing straw stacking or something of that nature, I can see that this is a very sensible thing to have. Whether or not something like electric companies should be supplying them, interesting, worth considering. It's 8 o'clock on the 20th. Good news, the steering pump has turned up for the Cat Challenger. It's Tuesday tonight. The Cat went down on Wednesday. I've got to try and fit it tomorrow. New problem, it's in the middle of a field, can't turn it. And when we try and jack it, the jacks are dropping into the ground, so we've got to try and find a solution to prevent that from happening. The stickers arrived that the NFU sent me to be able to put in the cabs, which look like this, and basically a number that I think everybody ought to put in their phone or remember, or get these stickers if they can. If you have an electricity problem, you need to dial 105 for a 24-hour emergency number. So we looked today, we had a problem with a combine going under power lines. This is just dangerous. We've got this problem going across the farms, and we're going to send this video to UK Power Networks and suggest that they do something about these dangerous power lines, because before somebody's hurt. And thank God Sandy had the foresight to put the lids down, and while we went and then investigated how low they are, because the reality of what you think they are and what they probably are is they're actually worse than we then thought they were. Cut some of the questions that have come through. CTF and ridging, no, we've been cultivating now the same lines, and we're getting level fields. We've spent all of my career with level boards trying to level fields, and I always think if they're not level now, they never will be. Lifters for peas, well, if you've ever used lifters on a combine, I think they were invented by the devil. So I try not to use them. Combine, how many weeks do they work for? About 8 weeks. Start at the beginning of July and go till the end of August, if not the beginning of September, and probably with a week off of rain in the middle. The idea of spraying tram lines with a quad bike sprayer, putting in with some nozzle behind, good idea. Somebody else also wrote to me on email, said to look at the weed wiper behind the mud guards. Also think that's a good idea, as long as the wheels actually haven't pushed it down and not enabled it to spring back up in time to hit the weed wiper. But the sprayer with the quad bike I think would work. Soil nutrients, I had a meeting with cousin Michael today on that very subject, actually, about biosolids, chicken manure, compost, gypsum and Limex. You know, what TSP, what we should be using, where and when, and spoke to Peter Crute at Soil. We use soil to doing our mapping the nutrients on a 1 hectare basis, and then doing recommendations off that. We find that's an effective way of planning our nutrient requirements across the farms and mapping where there's a poor problem and a good problem, and then using the yield mapping software to actually see what the offtake is and overlay it with the nutrient mapping to see if there's a correlation between the two. Thank you ever so much for watching. Appreciate everybody who subscribes. Everybody who hasn't, just click the button. We're most grateful, and see you hopefully next time when we're finished harvest. Fingers crossed.